are the Insiders, and man, are we excited to be here today.
It's a party, baby!
I'll do a little Greca tonight. Welcome! What's going on, everybody? It's a Saturday night. It's a hot and humid Saturday night where I am. Hope you all are doing well, and welcome to this week's episode of The Insiders, a weekly wrestling wrap-up show. Of course, as always, my guest and co-host, Jeff. What's going on, Jeff, man? How's it going?
Man, I didn't realize that I moved from South Carolina to stay in South Carolina in terms of the heat. So yeah.
Oh, it's horrible up here, man. I'll tell you. They always talk about, like, you'll hear people say, well, it's that dry heat. It doesn't really matter what kind of heat it is. It's hot. And man, oh man, it just seems like we're getting that all across the country. It just shifts from one end to another, and now it's kind of our turn. It was nice here for a few days, like in the 60s and 70s, and it was like nice to go outside, you get that fresh air. But today it's just like, it just weighs on you. So hello, everyone. We hope you are all doing well. We are here to talk, of course, about last week, the weekend review. We've got a lot of stuff planned, as always. There's stuff's going on, man, from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and on. It's never a dull moment in wrestling, and this week was no different. So we will welcome you all in and just get to a little bit of our schedule. Of course, it looks as if, at least from what we know, that Abby's window will be back on Monday. Of course, unless Jody says otherwise. We know Jody's been dealing with some medical stuff, but Abby should be back on. So for those of you who've been kind of waiting for it, I know there's a lot of you are excited about them to come back. They should be back this Monday at 6 o'clock p.m. So Abby should be back. And they'll have a lot to talk about as well, because it's getting closer to that date that we all heard that Bray may be making his return. Of course, you got the stuff about going on with Alexa and how Alexa didn't use Bray's theme anymore. So stuff that they will have to talk about on Monday. So make sure that you join Jeff. And, of course, Abby and Jody will be there at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on Monday. You can see the rest of our schedule up there as well. We'll have Impact Wrestling Night on Thursday night as usual. That will start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And, of course, we will do the watch-along. And then afterwards, we'll have After the Impact as well at 10:15 to talk about what we watched on the show. And then we will be right back here next Saturday for the wrap-up show again. And, man, we've got stuff coming up. Slammiversary's coming up. We have Money in the Bank now being led to. So lots and lots of stuff going on. And there's wrestling going on tonight as we speak. Dynamite's going on for those of you who are AEW fans. I'm sure there might be some of you watching that right now. But we're happy that you joined us. All right, let me say hello to some people, and we will move on. Hello, Jen Carter. Wally is here. What's up, Wally? How are you? Conrad is here. What's up, man? What's going on? Conrad says, yo. Everybody's saying yo. Jen saying yo. There is Legendary Buchanan. Says, hey, Insiders, what's going on with you? Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809. That had to change from John Cena Gamer 0809. So he's the Alexa Bliss Gamer now. Okay. Hello. Harry is here saying hello. Hello, Harry. How are you? Azan is here. Sean Rousset is here. How are you tonight? Big Dan is here. Howdy, gang. Welcome to an Insiders party, baby. Yes. It's raining over here. It is just hot and sticky and humid. Shelby Jones says, I'm here. Hello to you. And Rusty Shackelford is here. So welcome to all of you. We're glad that you took some time on your Saturday night and your weekend to spend with us. So let's dig in. And as always, I've got some breaking news. We will start with the breaking news. And I guess the most breaking of all the breaking news might be the fact that they announced the title match for Money in the Bank today. And that, of course, is Roman Reigns and Edge. So we saw that last night. That's part of our wrap up as well. We will go back into that whole story, of course, but breaking today, of course, that will be the match for the title. So Edge kind of appears out of nowhere. Yeah, there were rumors around, people saying he was going to come back soon, but nobody really kind of knew. What I find interesting, though, about this, Jeff, is I love how they do see, and this is why it's eons better on SmackDown. I love how earlier in the show they had Seth Rollins come out and talk to Adam Pearce and Sonya saying, hey, I want a shot. It's my turn now. And then what happens? Edge busts in. Edge is going to get the shot. Well, now you don't think that's going to sit very well with Seth Rollins. So I like it because it's more than likely going to lead into maybe some sort of interference with Seth, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he helps Roman win somehow. And then you're probably going to see a match that I think a lot of people want to see, Jeff, with Edge and Seth, probably at SummerSlam.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. I mean, I love when Edge is around.
Yep,
always a good thing. But man, oh my goodness, it was so good. I'm glad he's back. I think we're gonna get some shenanigans at Money in the Bank. And
yeah,
we're gonna start a nice little feud going forward. So
yeah, I agree. And so that was announced. It looks like Money in the Bank is going to be a lot of fun. I like how they started the stuff on Raw and continued it on. I mean, we're getting, it looks like, everybody was saying, we need different players here. We need some different faces here. Well, you're getting that. You got Big E who qualified. You had Liv Morgan qualify along with Carmella, along with Naomi. So you're getting some different people in there. And, we'll see where they choose to go. But, if somebody like Naomi comes out of it, who hasn't been involved much, if Big E comes out of it, boy, does that present a lot of possibilities, because you could have Big E go after Lashley. So there's a lot of spinning wheels here, and this could really lead to some cool stuff. And, of course, after SummerSlam, you've got a draft coming as well, so they can really move a lot of pieces around. From what I'm reading about that, and again, we know what dirt sheets are, but from what I'm hearing about that is that's going to probably be a lot of moving from both shows to try to even the shows out. So, all right, let's get to our first major headline of this week. And sadly, we had some more releases. As you can see up there, of course, Breezango. This one featured a lot of people who were NXT, and also people who were in 205 Live, and also a writer. A little bit of controversy about her because, saying that people were coming. Look, and this is the kind of thing, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit in my grievances part here tonight too, because this is a thing where things get exaggerated a lot, and get exaggerated too much. People don't know the story, and they make crap up. And really, one of the things that they said about her was, oh, well, she didn't know Lashley's last name. But then it comes out a little bit later on, well, this is what WWE does. They hire people who write for TV shows and comedy and stuff like that because they want it to be entertainment. And a lot of these people don't know anything about wrestling. They're not hiring wrestlers. So, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they should be. But anyway, back to the cuts. Always sad, Jeff, when this kind of stuff happens. It doesn't matter who it is. The best we can hope for is that. And a lot of these guys were just on TV. So it wasn't like we haven't seen them in a long time. As far as 205 Live goes, you kind of wonder whether if this is just something, whether they may not be getting views for 205 Live. People might not be watching. But I think, and you can tell me, Jeff, if you agree or not, I think a lot of this is to make cuts, to make way for two things. One, going back on the road because they need the money. And two, to make way for big talent that they're going to have to pay to bring back. That's where I think this is coming from. I don't think there's any other reasons behind it. I think they're just at the point where they need to kind of cut bait and kind of, scrimp and save, because some of these big names that are going to come back. Look, if John Cena comes back, he ain't coming back for nothing. He's not doing charity work and saying, yeah, I'll just show up. That's not going to happen. So that's why I think they're doing this. Doesn't make it any better, but I don't know if you guys saw my picture that I shared of Braun Strowman today. Wow, does he look different? But the cool thing is with that, he's enjoying himself. He's smiling. He's happy. He's laughing. And you know what? Some of these cuts, Jeff, could be the best thing that ever happened to these guys.
Yeah. I mean, with some of these folks, I mean, obviously, you hate to see anyone lose their job.
Yeah.
Especially their dream job and something that they worked so hard to achieve. And, you know, regardless of what people say, I know there have been a lot of people out there saying, well, WWE isn't the end all be all. And it's not. And I agree with that part of it. But I think it's starting to shift a little bit now. But if you ask wrestlers where they always dreamt of wrestling,
oh, sure,
it was WWE. Mostly because that was the only game in town and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I mean, it stinks because these people are getting released, but at the same time, they have an opportunity to do something new and exciting in their lives.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things that really stood out to me over the last couple of days was Killian Dane, his post on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he talked about that chip being back on his shoulder. And that's honestly sometimes, and I hate to say it this way, but a lot of times when people make it to WWE, they feel as if they've arrived, they've accomplished everything, and they get complacent. Let's be honest. Sometimes these kind of things are a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Are a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, you know, I wish the best for them. If I'm Impact, if I'm Ring of Honor, if I'm MLW, I already made phone calls to some of these people, starting the groundwork, saying, look, we got a place for you. But to your point, and I'll end this part with this. Not only are they thinking about bringing back people like Cena, like Brock, maybe even The Rock, there are also a lot of contracts coming up from another company that, you know, has a brand that's competing with WWE. Don't be surprised if sometime this summer or this fall or in the winter, we start to see some of those names migrate from AEW to WWE.
It's a great point, because, you know, we haven't been at that point before. Nobody's really thinking of that, but it does work both ways. And sometimes you may see people who aren't very happy there. And I could think of maybe a few who might have thought it was going to be a lot better than what they ended up getting, and could end up coming back. So yeah, it works both ways. And yeah, I absolutely agree. And then, of course, you had the thing going around that Carl Anderson typed out that Everrise had already signed Impact. Now, I don't know what's going on with that. And if that's true, then to me, that says that there's no non-compete, that they just said, screw the non-compete, you're good. You can just go and you can sign with, you know, wherever you want. And maybe they're doing that. Maybe they looked inside on that a little bit and thought, you know what? We're going to do this. We're just going to cut them a break, and we're not going to give them a non-compete clause. Let them go and work wherever they want to. So if Everrise is an Impact, that's a big signing for them, and just makes a tag team division that is strong, even stronger. So if that's true, man, I'm good with that. I'm good with that for Impact. So Conrad says, I feel like WWE might want younger wrestlers to look at the median age. Also, NXT has 30 days non-compete. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So it's less than the 90. I read somewhere too that they had said that they may be thinking about future cuts where they won't have one. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get news on that or something, and I'm sure we'll probably hear more about Everrise. But Yeah. So, I mean, everybody heard the news. It came out early Friday morning that it was happening. And, creative as far as the writer goes, look, Raw creative hasn't been good. Now, whether or not she took the brunt of it, I don't know that that's fair, because to be honest, the way they're going, that whole creative team probably should be, out the door and probably changed. But again, I think that just got out of hand with that. And again, it's like, it's one of those prime examples where people just didn't know, and they're guessing on stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've got some stuff to say about that when we get to the next segment.
All righty. Well, there you go. What is next then, Jeff?
Cross and Reed made an appearance on Main Event.
Yeah, so it looks like they are prepping these two gentlemen for a move. And of course, Scarlett had shown up too. So, and the big question that went around everybody's minds, are they splitting them up? Are they going to be together? No one really knows. I would think that bringing Scarlett up, I would believe that they would want to use her as more than a valet. And have her in the women's division. So they may be splitting them up. We'll see. And again, the only thing I'm afraid of with Cross is, man, oh man, don't lose that entrance. If they change his character, I really, that it's going to be disappointing, because I really don't want to see them lose that entrance, because it's phenomenal, and I want to see that on a big stage. But I mean, you guys can shout out in the chat. I don't know. I mean, these two guys, Jeff, probably, of the people that they have down there, I don't know. I think they've done, I think, probably what they're going to do in NXT. And I really think that, as much as the people in NXT, and I know Tazzy and stuff like that, may not like it very much that they're going up. But I think that they've gone where they're going to go. And I think that both of these guys deserve a shot on the main roster.
I agree with that. Very unpopular opinion that I'm about to throw out there, and it's going to answer exactly what Azan just asked about. How do they lose their titles? I don't think you should have them drop the titles. I think they should vacate them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Why? Because I want us to see a tournament in NXT. Bring in some folks, give some more people some time. But I think, in terms of talent, you can say, and you can wait and say, oh, well, I don't think they're ready. I don't think it's time for this person or that person. Well, when is it going to be the time? Do you wait another year? Do you wait another 6 months? Do you wait 2 years? So then the fan base says, oh, well, when they get up to the main roster, they're just going to ruin them anyway. Like, you know what? Again, I'm going to have a lot to say during grievances, but my thing is they need to start to bring in some fresh faces on Raw and SmackDown.
Yep.
Especially Raw at this point. But the last thing that I'll say about this is this. Don't get bent right now that Cross walked out there without Scarlett. Also, don't get bent because he didn't have his normal entrance. After all, it was Main Event.
Yeah.
Okay? How many people, let's be honest, how many people watch Main Event?
That's very true. And listen, guys, they're not going to, for lack of a better term, blow their load on Main Event. They're not going to do that. They're not going to have these guys come out with all these grand entrances and stuff like that. They're not going to do that. They're training here. They're practicing to go up to the main roster is basically what it is. So they're not going to do that. And yeah, it just makes a lot of sense. But Jeff, I agree. I think, again, you can't continue to just say, well, let's wait. You have to make a move. these two guys, one or both of them, could make a difference on Raw. Could you imagine if Cross went to Raw? I mean, right away, you're bringing all the people who are big fans of this guy that are now going to watch Raw. And that's going to make Raw that much better. So you can't always wait. And I understand the people who love NXT, but listen, NXT is going to bounce back. I have pretty good faith in Triple H and Shawn Michaels and what they're doing there. They are cultivating people. They're always going to have people that are going to step up and replace guys. So, and who knows, they may take some people from NXT UK or, things like that. But yeah, I think it's time for these two. I think they've earned it. And listen, all the way back in the beginning when Cross came over, they did say, Triple H said in a conference call, he is being fast-tracked. So fast-tracked is fast-tracked, guys. They're going to bring him up. And I'm sure the injury threw a little bit of a monkey wrench into that. But now that he's back, I kind of don't think that he's, I don't think he's going to be around very much longer. So Big Dan says, do not split Cross and Scarlet Vince, you twit. James Shattuck says, Jeff Joe, Ethan Page just challenged Darby Allin for a coffin match. That's interesting. All righty. Ethan Page is doing some great work over there. He's doing some great work as a heel over there. Really great work. Him and Scorpio Sky, whoever the creative that came up with that was genius. Really, really were. Those two guys are doing really, really well. Leave our NXT UK alone, damn it. They've already ruined half of the indie scene with it. Well, let's see. C Wrestling is here. What's up, C? How are you? Let's see, a comment up here. I think I missed. If I missed Jesse's jokes, please heckle her so she feels normal. Thank you. I'm having dramas. Spent hours making tomorrow's video for my editor to decide and delete everything. I'm around and listening, but panicking and busy. Oh, well, that's understandable. You gotta love technology, dude. Gotta love technology. Okay, what's up next, Jeff?
Mickie James, man. Mickie James.
She's been in the news a lot lately, and of course, she's going to be the producer of that all-women's show. So, but now it has come out that Mickie is indeed going to wrestle. So that was that had come out this past week. So now it's not just being a producer, but she's actually going to be there as well. So, and I guess my big question here is, does that mean that she's going to be on NWA going forward? It would make a lot of sense. Her husband is there. So, as we have said, a lot of these couples that get to work together, it's kind of cool for them to do that, and I don't know, man. Any Mickie James is good for me, dude. And look, that's just even more of a thing where I have to start watching NWA again. But I'm excited for the women's pay-per-view. And, I want to see really what they're going to do with Mickie, whether they involve her right away in some big storylines. But, I mean, my goodness, Mickie James versus Thunder Rosa, Mickie James versus, Serena Deeb, Mickie James versus Camille. I'm in, and I think it's great to have her there and have her doing what she's doing either way. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Does that mean she is not going to go anywhere else or anything like that? Maybe not, because NWA seems a little bit liberal about where they allow their people to go and work with and stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm just happy that she's getting involved, and I'm sure seeing her wrestle again will be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait, because the last time, I don't want the last time that we saw her to be the last time that I saw her wrestle.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
How weird that situation was. So
yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see her wrestle. I really, really, really want to see her do some work with Impact, like my friend Bates just said there.
Explain her coming back from the dead and being pushed into an oncoming train.
I just for that reason, I want to see how they write themselves out of that. Honestly, but yeah, I mean, I want to see her wrestle again. I think she's got a lot left in the tank. She's a legend. I mean, she truly is a legend. And any Mickie James on our television screen is so cool. So I'm excited for it.
Absolutely agree. Big Dan says she seems like an absolute sweetheart, and I hope someday she and WWE heal their breach and she gets her Hall of Fame due. I think it'll probably happen. I mean, WWE, that's one thing. You know, they've had people that they couldn't stand that end up getting into the Hall of Fame at some point. So I would be surprised if that doesn't happen. So Azan says she can work both Impact and NWA. Somebody said James saying something about Big E. James Chadwick, what are you saying about Big E? Like Adam Cole said, this brand has done everything in its power to make you feel special. You've got the cool music, you've got the lights, you've got the fog machine, and you've got the girl. All right. So, what is next in the news?
Raw, man. It was let's be honest, it was better.
Yeah, I mean, you had a lot of different matchups right from the start, and Money in the Bank will do that. When you're bringing these, people together, and you're getting different people wrestling each other and things like that, you're going to get some different matchups and some cool matchups and things you haven't seen before. I mean, hey, Johnny Drip Drip gets a win. When has been the last time that we've seen Morrison do anything other than being the goofy sidekick for The Miz? So seeing him showcase his talents, there's a guy who's been hidden from the show for a while, other than taking stupid losses and zombies. It was good to see him, and everyone else. Of course, Xavier Woods in the main event, getting that Hell in a Cell match, which USA wanted because they were mad at Fox and whatnot. So, but yeah, you know what? You can't look. You can bash Raw all you want. I mean, we've done it too because it has deserved it. It's been pretty bad. But the whole hype around Money in the Bank and this week's Raw, and then the whole thing with Alexa and Nikki, and even people, goodness gracious, Alexa had to come out and say something about that. And I talked about it a little bit on Impact. She had to post a tweet because people are now bashing her and then people saying, oh, it's stupid. Nikki just became a superhero out of nowhere and blah, 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 blah. Good Lord. Guys, like, take a breath, relax, and kind of just enjoy the entertainment. Yes, I understand. Okay. For those of you who say, and I heard it from people on shows and stuff too, but for those of you who say, yeah, there was no build-up. Yes, there was no. We all kind of knew that after this past pay-per-view, things are going to reset. We all kind of knew that's where it was going. And that's indeed what they did. Now, this is not the first time that WWE has just stopped storylines and then kind of started new. So it's not the first time. The thing with Nikki and Alexa, again, people muttering and stuff. Well, last time they were fighting each other. They didn't like each other. So we expected Alexa to attack Nikki. Guys, it's going in a different direction. That's what they do. And this is what's going on. But anyway, I enjoyed it. It was a good show. It was a different show. You got different matchups right up to the end, and the championship shot between Xavier. Now, who knows what's going to happen there too? They're already saying Xavier might be written off TV now for a while because of the beating that he took from Bobby, and then that's going to end up, of course, Bobby and Kofi Kingston, which I'm sure a lot of people would love to see. So, but yeah, I thought it was great. You guys, of course, can tell us in the chat what you thought. James said it was really good. I thought it was great. I thought it was a very big step up for them. Jeff, what about you?
Another unpopular opinion. I'm going to be fooling tonight. I honestly have enjoyed Raw. Like, it's gotten better to me over the last maybe 5 to 6 weeks. I wasn't as down on it as other people have been, but I thought this week was great. And here's the thing. Everybody's clamoring for new. Everybody wants something different. Okay, they gave you that. Don't then say, well, we didn't get this or we didn't get. Listen, I mean, sometimes you just have to admit that either A, you're conditioned to hate it because you're told to, or B, you just want to have something to gripe about. Let's just be honest. It was good. It was really good. If you said that you saw Ricochet, John Morrison,
Right.
and Riddle in the Money in the Bank match, I'm gonna need to check. I'm gonna need to have you tested. So I'm just gonna need to have you tested because that came out of nowhere. Let's be honest, which I thought was great. And then you get everything with Bobby and Woods, which I really enjoyed. I mean, yeah, did they have a huge setup to it? No, they didn't. But you know what? Sometimes you have to start in places like that so you can build stories from there. I mean, I know what Hell in a Cell used to be and how it used to be used, but newsflash, it's 2021 and ain't happening the same way anymore. It's about flash. It's about um, shock and awe because that's what fans need now. It's no, let's just be honest. No one's patient when it comes to storylines. So
Yep.
you have to microwave storylines. You have to manufacture them in a way that makes everyone speed everything up. And I mean that's just where we are right now. So, you know, did it suck that we didn't get that as like a finale to a feud? Sure. But you know what? Look at the people that are always griping and complaining on social media and thank them for that because they're the reason. Some of them are the reason that wrestling companies have to write storylines that way because if it's not done the way that the wrestling community wants it done, they're going to complain about it a lot. So
Yep.
just
Yep.
put that out there.
Absolutely. Newman Company, hello to you, by the way. Raw, it's great. Amazing build-up for Money in the Bank. Big Dan says Raw is getting increasingly better. It's got a fresh feel to it, like after you clean out your refrigerator. It's got a long way to go to catch SmackDown, but maybe a certain eater of worlds can help. Yeah, look, I mean, again, I think the thing that people have to remember, too, is the demographic that WWE is going after is not necessarily the demographic, and it's definitely not the demographic that I'm in. They are going after younger demographics here. So they may not always think that the younger dem and all these people say, well, they make me feel stupid because they just think I'm going to forget about everything like Nikki and Alexa. But see, the thing is, when you're going for a younger demographic, and remember, guys, and probably I can bet a lot of you when you were kids watched wrestling too, and you still do. Remember, for them, listen, they don't know that it's not real. They don't know that it's you know what I mean. It's entertainment. They don't know that. So you got to kind of remember that to them, it doesn't matter. All they're seeing when they see Nikki come out, nobody targets the 300 age group. Should have seen that coming a mile away, but thank you. Yes. No, they don't target that age group at all. But what they're going to think about when they see Nikki coming out is, hey, she's a superhero. And what is popular today? Superheroes, right? It's all the rage in movies, Disney Plus, here, there. You know, and Jason Baker and his crew, hats off to him. They're doing a lot of work with WWE. And it's not just for Bray. I mean, they're doing stuff for Alexa. Now they're doing stuff for Nikki. They've got, you know, they're doing a lot of work for people. So, hey, it worked for Molly Holly. Why can't it work for Nikki Cross? I think Raw has gotten tremendously better. And hopefully we see more of this going forward now towards Money in the Bank. All right. I think we got a SmackDown recap, too, as well.
We do. Yeah, it was. Ooh.
I didn't expect the ending, man. I'll tell you. I did not see that coming at all. I was expecting, you know, I didn't really know what, because, you know, they came out there and they're like, oh, he went. Do you notice how he always mentions Bray, too? The Fiend was frightened is how he started off his little speech. So, yeah, keeping that in the mix there a little bit. But I didn't know where they were going. I kind of thought, who's going to come out? I knew somebody was going to come out. I didn't know who. I didn't know whether it was going to be Seth. I didn't know whether it was going to be, suddenly have disappeared Jey Uso. I didn't know whether he was going to come out. I had no idea. But Cena, I mean, the big rumor's been Cena, so I didn't know whether John was going to show up. I had no clue. But all of a sudden, we got a returning Edge. And man, dude, every time this guy comes down, he's got a different look about him. He's got the full beard now. He's got I don't know. But man, and they get those close-ups on his face, and he looks like an absolute psychotic, like absolute psychotic when they get those close-ups. But look, the show I thought again was great. The whole thing between now we're seeing Sami Zayn. I thought he's done and over with Kevin Owens, and that's not the case. We see Big E get the win and get into Money in the Bank. So the whole show again has been really good. The Roman thing is just tremendous. He has Jimmy go out there and kind of try to prove to him now that he can be the right-hand man. So, mind games all the time from Roman Reigns, man. Constant mind games with Jimmy and Jey Uso. And then Edge comes out, and Edge just flattens him. Looked like he was going to try a concerto. Didn't get it because he got saved by Jimmy. But now we got a match for that title, and we said it earlier, Seth Rollins isn't going to be happy. So SmackDown has just been killing it. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they fit so much into that 2 hours time. And I think that's a big key. We've said that before, man. Raw with that 3 hours, it is tough. And that third hour, they've got it. And that's why I think when the draft comes and stuff, Jeff, they have to even maybe get more superstars than SmackDown has because of that last hour, because they're just going to have more and more things going.
Yeah. The saying, less is more.
Yep.
This works in this case. I personally, even when it's good, even if it was stellar, I don't think any wrestling show should be 3 hours.
Yep.
Because after a while, you're going to lose your luster on that. So that's number one. But SmackDown has been great. Seeing Edge back is great. I want to get to the bottom of the stuff with Liv because there are conflicting reports out there. She won the match, and most people are like, well, that means she's in the Money in the Bank. That's not on the graphic that WWE put out. So I want to get some more clarity on that. And you know what? If this had been done on Raw, probably wouldn't get that clarity. But because it's SmackDown, I can pretty much guarantee you that this Friday we're going to get some clarity when it comes to that. So, I mean, SmackDown is great. I say this often. Roman Reigns is on a different level, and it is criminal that WWE didn't allow him to do this 5 years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Because can you imagine if he had been able to get into this bag 5 years ago and really build this thing all the way to now? Imagine the heat. I mean, he's got a ton of heel heat now already, but just imagine the heat he generates, throughout. And I mean, who knows how that changes the landscape for WWE? But man, I'm so thrilled to see what they're doing on SmackDown. And I want to say this: I desperately agree with someone's comment talking about a big win for Big E. I think, folks, I don't know, but I think we might be seeing the start of something very special. There's been a lot of talk about Kofi Mania. Look out for Big E because big things might be happening real soon.
Yeah, I agree. Whatever they decide to do, wherever he decides to go, he wins that Money in the Bank. And like I said, I mean, look at the matchups. Whether he goes after Roman or whether he turns around and goes after Bobby Lashley, I mean, hell, he can go down after an NXT champion as well. So, I mean, he's got his pick. And whatever he decides to do, but I agree. I think that, you kind of got it sidetracked a little bit with him maybe. But, I think wherever he goes, I think he's going to get fast tracked to a title at some point, and he deserves it. He deserves it. Let me read out. Harry says, I have a prediction. If Randy wins on Monday to qualify for Money in the Bank, then on the pay-per-view, as they do the entrances, the Fiend appears behind Randy and then possibly takes his spot. What are your thoughts? Well, first of all, I don't think Randy is going to end up there. Maybe if you have something that you're, along the lines of what you're thinking, somebody would cost him not to win that. But it looks like they're doing stuff where they maybe the RK Bro thing might be burning up. They might end up just causing each other a lot of hassle here. And if Riddle is in there and Randy is not, he's not going to sit well with that. So I really, and I've said this before, I know as much as people are thinking that Bray's just going to come back and step into a Randy Orton feud, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. And I know people want it to because they want it to continue where it was left off. But I think that's, I don't know whether they'll get back to it someday, maybe. But I think for now, at least anyway, I think that's done. I really just don't think they're going to go back to that. So. Jeff is wearing black headphones while Joe is wearing white. Very observant is on. Very observant. We've only done that probably since we've been doing the show. But, hey, thank you for letting us know. All right. Let's go on, shall we? What's up next?
Oh, boy. This is going to be bananas.
It's just going to be a big mess. There's not even been, you're kind of wondering whether or not there's going to be a stipulation set for this at some point. But, yeah, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Moose, Sami Callihan, and Chris Sabin. That team on the right, there isn't a soul in there that can stand each other. Chris Sabin hates Moose. Moose hates everyone. Sami Callihan, you could pretty much say, hates everyone. Yeah. How in the heck do these guys coexist in a match without this whole thing just blowing up? And Omega and the Good Brothers just standing on the other side just let them fight amongst themselves. We don't really have to do too much here. But this is on Impact. This is not a pay-per-view. Right. This is not at Slammiversary. This is next week. So, man, what a match. This is going to be fun, man. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, even Chris Sabin tweeted out after the match was made, yeah, this team is going to gel really well and pull off some great tag team.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking, my friend, wishful thinking.
Oh.
I'm so excited to see the carnage that's going to be this match because it's going to be absolutely bonkers. So yeah, for one, I'm ready to see it. Something crazy is going to happen. We know that. We know something crazy is going to happen.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And of course, you have Tommy Dreamer and Don Callis. I mean, those two are not seeing eye to eye currently either. So we may have something happen with that where Tommy kind of runs them off somehow. Sonny Wolf is here. What's up, Sonny? How are you? The Elite versus Random Team, says Noob and Company. I went to watch Fast and Furious 9. That's awesome. Very cool. Glad you enjoyed it. When Bray does return, who do you think he'll target or be in a feud with? Dude, it's really, really hard to say. I honestly don't know. I mean, the most logical thing would be that he comes back and goes after Alexa somehow. But I don't know that. I don't know. I really don't know if they'll do that. So, all right, let's move on to the next topic.
All right, man. Listen, brother, one brother wants another brother to be by his side. So
I wouldn't doubt that this would happen at some point in time. I mean, Jeff hasn't exactly. Now, he has been getting some, he was out at two. It seems like a couple of these guys, Jinder Mahal, him, a couple of them were out kind of hanging in 205 Live, getting some work in and stuff like that. And then, it seems like they're kind of maybe bringing Jeff back into the picture a little bit. So we'll see. But I don't know. Jeff has said, though, pretty steadfastly over the last few years that he wants to finish his career in WWE. So, can Matt convince him to go there? Maybe. The other thing is, does AEW want to pay him? And at this point, again, we've said this, AEW isn't, they don't have unlimited funds that they can just throw at anybody they want to. Would it be great to see them back together again? Sure. But I don't know. This one is kind of up in the air for me because of the things, like I said, that Jeff said. Jeff is probably getting close to where, he may just want to pack it in. And I think that, again, he stated before that he wants to retire in WWE. And I kind of think that that's what is probably going to happen. So what do you think?
Where would folks like for him to fit in what they have going right now is the question that I would ask.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't see a space for him. I don't see a space really for Matt, if we're being honest. And it's a shame because I feel like had we not gone through the pandemic, broken Matt Hardy would have been so hot right now for AEW, but things didn't happen that way. So, yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of Jeff on Main Event. We saw him this past week with that crew that you mentioned, Jinder Mahal, Cedric Alexander. Let's see what they do with him. He's had a couple good matches with Cedric.
Yeah.
Had some fire matches on Main Event with Ali. So, I mean, let's see. I mean, he's still Jeff Hardy. I mean, that's the thing. Like, he can still go. But I don't think what Rusty just said, I think that if anything, if we're gonna see a reunion, I think it needs to be Matt going back to WWE and finishing up there. I would love to see just one more time. I'd love to see them hold a tag team championship in WWE and end it that way. That's what I would like to see.
That'd be great for WWE's tag team division too, because that would really, I mean, look, that the tag division WWE needs, they need a bump. So for those guys to come back and just for the celebration of it and to have one more run in WWE. And yeah, listen, don't be surprised if that should happen somewhere down the road. Like Jeff said earlier, you might start to see some of these guys that maybe aren't that thrilled with their position there. Now, Matt's never said anything bad against AEW. He's never come out and said anything bad. But that doesn't necessarily mean that maybe he's not thrilled with how they're using him, or so don't be shocked if he does end up coming back at some point and closing out his career with Jeff. So wouldn't be surprised at all. See, he says, good news. I recovered my video. I can sleep tonight. Well, there you go. That's good news. Jeff and AEW would be pretty cool, to be honest. Yeah. Woo! Jeff is going to use no more words, says Azan. I think WWE needs to bring Matt back to be with Jeff, says Rusty. Yeah, I think we all agree. All righty. I think we have one more item here.
Yes. AEW is heading to my neck of the woods in September.
They're going out on the road, yeah. So you're going to start hearing a lot more about your favorites going to different places. This came to, this is a little bit crazy because they're going to be in Arthur Ashe Stadium, which is where they have the U.S. Open. That's a big tennis venue. And they're going to have it live there. So we know that AEW kind of goes to these, like Daly's Place. They go to these little, like, smaller kind of event centers, which is cool. But it's cool that they're going to be out on the road. They were out on the road before. I knew some people that had gone to some AEW shows that were in, like, local universities and stuff like that. They went to one close to Philadelphia, and I knew some people that went to the show. Listen, their fans love it. Their fans are going to be extremely excited to go and see them at these places. So, listen, why not? They can't stay in Daly's Place forever, and when they start getting on the road, listen, if they're going around, There's also another company I think that's gonna have a live event right around that area. So yeah, but look, I think it's great. You televise it. You're going to have a good crowd there. You're going to have the live reactions and stuff like that. And that is what everybody is waiting for, including myself and Jeff. Look, it's going to be so cool. We got a taste of it at WrestleMania, and man, I miss it. I really, really miss it. And I want to hear that again. I want to hear the reactions of fans and this helps the companies too and helps creative because it is tough as creative when you don't know. Listen, guys, this goes back to ancient wrestling history in the the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. This is how they judge their characters. When people go out, this is how people get over, is by seeing what the fans want to see. If they boo something and they hate it, well, that's when changes get made, and they just don't know right now. They're fabricating everything is what they're doing. They're telling people when to cheer and boo. So yeah, I'm just excited for this. I'm excited, and yeah, Jeff may have an opportunity to go see it. That's awesome. When you're that close to an event, I wish somebody was coming close to me. Unfortunately, no one is. But when they do, I'll tell you what, I'm probably going to be it's going to be enticing to me to go and see a live show because I haven't done it in a while. And now that the pandemic has happened and everything like that, it kind of makes you realize, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to enjoy this kind of stuff because you just never know what is going to happen. Like, I've got tickets to go see Black Widow and I'm thrilled. I'm going back to a movie. And there was time when last year I'm thinking to myself, you may never see a movie again. You may be stuck in your house watching all this stuff, which, okay, yeah, it's convenient. But, yeah, hey, I like the experience of doing that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty happy with it.
I am too. And I'm going to try my best to make it to the Rochester show that they have. So, I do want to go to an AEW show live because I'll tell you, and this is maybe good or bad, I don't know. They have some loyal, rabid fans.
They do.
So I'd love to be in that atmosphere. It's been a while since we've experienced that. So yeah, I'm ready to see what they do on the road. I think it's very interesting that the other company all of a sudden announced, "Oh yeah, we're going to be in Madison Square Garden." Okay,
brings back memories of tanks and
yeah. And you know what would be great is if that happened.
Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
Because here's the thing, and I got to give AEW credit on this. AEW would actually be crazy enough. Some of their wrestlers, they wouldn't care. They'd go through security. They'd find another way in. And I'm all for that. Give me that. I need that energy. So, yeah, I'm excited, and I'm gonna try to go to a show. I mean, I was waiting since WWE announced the MSG date. I was hoping that they would come to Albany because they come to Albany a good bit. There's a lot of things that have happened in WWE, like major things here in Albany. So I wanted them to come to the TU Center. But we'll see. Hopefully they do.
We might be able to get Jeff on the spot, like the old spot reporters. We might be able to get Jeff live from an event. That would be awesome. Cool, man. All right. I believe that is it for our news for the week, and we are on to everyone's favorite segment of our show. It is time to air the grievances.
All right, everybody loves this, so let's play it.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're gonna hear about it.
It is time for everybody's favorite segment of our show. It is time for airing of grievances. I love how people shout out on Twitter now, like about grievances we should air. It's funny, man. You guys are hilarious. All right, Jeff, if you don't mind, I'm going to start off.
I don't mind at all.
Okay. So I've got a little bit of it. This is going to be a little bit of Joe's story time for you guys. So I'm gonna do a little bit of story time here with you guys. And of course, as any great story always ends up doing, it ends with a lesson, and that's where I'm gonna go with this. So way back when, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, if you want to BC wrestling and you want to say that, Joe attended college. Joe attended college for journalism, which, what is journalism anyway? Journalism's kind of non-existent now. Well, in a way. But yes, Joe attended college. And when Joe went to his first majors class in college, and I sat down with, a bunch of other students in there, and of course I have my rock to chisel on, and my, and my, everything else. My sticks are up together to make fire and all that kind of stuff. But the professor walked into the classroom, and we had College with Dinosaurs, yes. And we were talking, what they do, they kind of come in, they introduce you. When you get into, and those of you who've gone to college already, or those of you who maybe haven't gone yet, one of the first things you do when you get into your major classes, kind of the first year or so is usually always taking classes that are just general education. And then when you get into your major classes, so one of the first things the professor does comes in, and he kind of just starts kind of giving us the rundown. Well, why are you doing this? Why are you interested in this field? What is it you want to do? And he came out and asked us all that, and we went one by one. We were kind of going around and we were telling him about it. And then he kind of got into the background of it a little bit. And of course, this gentleman had been a professor for some years, but he also worked for the Associated Press. Now, again, for those of you not familiar, there were things such as newspapers. They're not around much anymore, but they weren't digital. They were an actual paper that was done on a printing press, and reporters would go out and cover stories and stuff like that, and they would get these stories in for the newspaper. So he was kind of a big deal in journalism and in that business. And one of the things that the very first day of our class that he taught us was always make sure of a source, and always make sure you can back up what you write, because the last thing you want to do is make yourself look like an ass in a public paper that's going to get printed out. Now, editors can catch things, sure, but sometimes they don't. And that's why when you see a lot of news, however you read it, whether it's on CNN or Fox or wherever you get your news from, you will say, the source said, or my source said, or this person said, because people want to know where this came from. They also need to have proof of where this stuff is being said. Now, you may ask me where I'm going with this. So where I'm going with it is, with much of a lot of the wrestling, I'm not even going to say community, because a lot of the wrestling dirt sheets, a lot of the wrestling stuff that goes on out there is so much. And we had another thing come up with that, with the writer this week and how she was let go. But a lot of it just comes out of complete nowhere. They just get it from the top of their head and they throw it out there because they either want to get it out there because they know they have to say something about it, or they don't look like they are on top of things, especially if they are a news source or consider themselves a news source, as it were. But so, yeah, a lot of these people just put out stuff to put out stuff, okay? They are not checking sources. They are not talking to anyone, okay? So what this is all about, and what this grievance is all about, is be very careful, especially in today's day and age, about what you read, about what you hear, and about what you believe. Because, again, and I will say this, these people are doing these things for a reason. when you guys are going out there and you are listening to wrestling news, listen, we as a society today want to find out every bit of information we can. People search things constantly. And it's not just for spoilers, but it's for anything they can get their hands on, because we have to know. And we have to know now. So what happens? What's the first thing you do when you want to know something? You Google it, or you look for it, right? And then what happens then? Well, then you get this little mass of YouTube pages that will pop up with stuff. I mean, listen, I did it. I did it too. Before we started this show, I did the same damn thing. And I'd get to these pages which were complete and utter nonsense. Like you'd have somebody that literally recorded things in a robotic voice. So you'd get this thing talking like this. WWE does that. And like that's all that it was. Then there's another guy who talks like, and this person is unbelievable. And you guys may have even heard some of this. This guy, when he talks, says WWE said, and I've listened to videos like that. And these guys all claim that they know all this shit that's going on in the background, that they know, and oh, this guy is going to do this, and this guy, and I've heard from this guy. Well, here's my question to all of them. And this goes back to my professor. Who did you hear from? If you're going to come out and you're going to tell me that you know what's going on inside the business, you better damn well be able to back that up. You better damn well be able to come out, and if somebody calls your ass out, you better be able to come out and say who your source is. Who are you hearing this from? And let me tell you something, if you can't, then you have no damn business putting it out on the internet. You have no damn business putting it out on your page or on your YouTube video. You have no business. Okay? None. The thing about, that people know things that are going on backstage and know things that here's the nonsense behind all that. Stop and think to yourself. Do you think that a wrestler, and I don't care who it is, okay? I don't care who it is. Do you think that a wrestler is going to communicate with Joe Blow and tell them things that are going on in their profession and give them inside news and say, here you go ahead and do what you're going to do with this and just stick this all up all over the internet, or they can lose their job. And if that's leads back to them, that's what's going to happen. They're going to be out of a job. You can't do shit like that. It's the same thing if you're working on a film. When they give actors film scripts, they are sworn to secrecy. And if things get out about that, those actors are going to be canned. So do you think someone is going to risk losing their livelihood to get this to some person who has a YouTube page so he can get it out to his community? And so do you really think that that's going on? Because I don't. Elvis told me is the correct answer. Rusty, thank you for bringing that up, because you know what? You know what else used to be out there when I was young? Were these things called trash magazines. And you still see them today. Right? You go up to a register in any grocery store and you see all these newspapers with Godzilla ate the Pope, or UFOs landed in Nevada, or Queen Elizabeth is an alien, or you see this all of the time. Now, do you think for one second that those writers had proof of any of that? Because if you do, like Jeff always says, I have a bridge to sell you. Because none of it is true. It is stories to grab people's attention. That's why they're put at the register. Because when people are waiting in line to buy their food, they're looking around and they see this and they think, ooh, is there really an alien somewhere? I'm going to buy this magazine and find out. That is about where these people are. They are making trash magazines. They are making stuff up. And again, they're doing it for their own benefit. And I'm sorry, but that is the way I feel. Jeff and I can differentiate from a lot of this, and we do, because we aren't, and from the start, and Jeff will attest to this too, We have our show set up from the very start of when we started doing this, that we put people's comments up on the screen. Now, we don't have to do that. We could be like other shows and just let you talk all you want to. And if you want us to see it, what do you have to do? You have to put money out there. We don't do that. So because of that, and because I can say to myself that I'm not that kind of person, I can talk about this with a clear conscience because I know that I'm not looking to get money. I can't say that for any of these other people. And I don't think they can come out and say it either. So that's it. I'm off my soapbox. I'm done. But all I'm saying to you guys, as our community, as friends of ours, please, please, please don't believe everything you hear, because it is not coming from a source. It is not coming from someone who is probably telling the truth. It is probably coming from someone who is doing it to line their pockets or get clicks or get subs or get clout. I'm done.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. I like that. Okay, so I guess it's my turn now.
It is Jeff's turn now.
So, all right, here we go. One of the things that bums me out about these releases, other than the fact that people are losing their jobs, are the people that operate on social media that just live to crap on the company that releases these people. My question is to you, to that person, um, to those people that are always like bashing WWE, and this is, trust me, this is not me taking up for WWE because I got a lot of gripes with them at the moment. But this is for the people that say, "Oh my God, I can't believe they released this person or that person." How ironic is it that you tweet your support for a person when they get fired, but I've never seen you tweet support for them after a match that they've had, or a random appearance that they had, or man, did you see that promo that so and so did? It's fake outrage. That tends to happen a lot with people online. It ends up being about, oh, well, I want to jump on this train right now because maybe I can pick up about, 30, 40, 50 followers, or get some subs or something because I tweet out about, something that's trending worldwide right now. It's not about you, number one. People have lost their jobs just because, and man, I had to clean that up because I was about to say something. Just because you ride their coattails, I'll say coattails. Just because you ride their coattails, you want to ride the coattails of people that bash. It's not about you. It's about the people that lost their job. Okay, it's cool to wish them the best, but don't act like you're outraged when you don't even watch a product and yet you want to throw around support for someone that you never even hyped up in the first place. That's number one. Number two, WWE, I guarantee you right now, if you went into their writer's room and polled them, and it was an anonymous poll, and you said, okay, before you started working in WWE, how many of you actually sat down and watched wrestling on a weekly basis? I bet you the number would be less than 25% of that room. The reason I bring that up is because the people that got outraged by this young lady going on a podcast saying that she didn't really know anything about wrestling and that it wasn't a prerequisite for her to be hired by WWE, and that, she said whatever about Bobby Lashley and, everything. The story's out there. That's fine. WWE, whether you like it or not, has moved on from the 80s and 90s. It is an entertainment company now. They have come out and said that they want to mimic the success and the appeal that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has. Okay? That's what they want to do. That's entertainment. That's not always professional wrestling. So how do you achieve that? You find people who may be tapped into those areas. That's why they're hiring people with little to no wrestling experience, because they don't see this as a professional wrestling company anymore. They see this as an entertainment company that provides a professional wrestling product. Okay? So I think a lot of people, when you look at these releases and you think about all these things, people miss what's happening. It sucks that our favorite wrestlers are being let go. It sucks that people are losing their jobs. But it's all about a couple things. One is the bottom line, and two is that, are these people even connecting with our target audience? And if they're not, sorry, they gotta go. It's a business. It sucks, but it's a business. The last thing I'm gonna say is this: do not. Well, I'm not gonna say do not, because I don't want to tell people what to do. Just put it like this: support your favorite wrestler and not a company. Companies will do things to a wrestler or to a talent or to a staff person at the drop of a hat. That's what companies do. Your favorite wrestler can go from company to company and wrestle. I'd much rather, at this point in my life, support a wrestler than support a company, because if I support a company, 9 times out of 10 they're going to let me down by the way they book the wrestler, by the way they handle a business practice, by the way they handle some social issue, social cause. That's set up for failure every single time. So hype up your favorite wrestler, follow them, support them, tweet about them, whatever you want to do, shout them out on social media. That's great. But whenever you start saying these things about, well, WWE does this better than whatever, you're setting yourself up for failure, because I was just about to say this and Conrad beat me to it. No company is perfect. The people that stand WWE, and I hate that term, but I'll say it, the people that stand WWE, there's some skeletons in WWE's closet. I'll say this about AEW. As much as I like what they're doing, there are some skeletons in their closet. They're just too young for us to know about them probably right now. Same can be said for New Japan, Impact, whoever else. There are some things that they've done in the past or that they're currently doing that if you knew what they were doing, you would be embarrassed and ashamed to be a fan of that company. So support your favorite wrestlers, buy their merch, tweet at them, tweet about them, all those things. But this loyalty to company stuff doesn't work. I'm done.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, when you're out in the world in a workforce capacity or wherever you go, you're a cog in a machine. And that's what these guys are. It's like I said earlier when I talked about do you really think that they're the ones that can, like, somebody made a statement, and this pertains to both what Jeff and I just said. Somebody came out and made a statement, something about where Alexa, this whole thing with Alexa and Bray and everything like that, and how, well, she moved in on his territory, and listen, the thing that I find, just incredibly hard to believe is, number one, and we talked about this on Impact too, and Jeff came out and said that kind of stuff just doesn't happen. Like, in the wrestling business, creative is in charge, and like Jeff said, this is what we have to remember. The wrestlers aren't, look, and I always go back to Mark Henry. Mark Henry was told that he had to be in a storyline with Mae Young and have a hand baby. I mean, the world's strongest man, this guy who could, destroy almost anyone probably in that ring without any sort of, sweat off his back, got told he had to have a hand baby. But you know what? He went out and did it because that's his job. So don't, like Jeff said, don't get behind, and be all rah for these companies, because guys, the companies are controlling. They are the ones in control. It's not the wrestlers. They're just doing a job. They're like they're like you and I. We get up, we go to work every day. They just do different things. But it's like a movie creator who gives them a script. They must follow the script. And it doesn't matter whether they like it or not. They can, like Jeff said on the show the other night, they can give input. They can kind of tell you a little bit about what they'd like to do, but they don't have control. So, yeah, I agree, man. Great stuff. I agree 100%. And, yeah, this company versus company stuff is ridiculous. Yeah. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It really is. Listen, Tony Khan is making a ton of money. Vince McMahon is making a ton of money. These higher-ups, wherever they're sitting, boardrooms, whatever it is, the stockholders, whoever they are, they're making tons of money. And if they make a ton of money, that's all they care about. They care about the green and their bottom line. They don't care about anything else. So, yeah, great stuff, man. I totally agree. Totally agree.
Monica King, Sean Suslowitz, what's up with you guys?
Wow, Monica King, it's been a long time. Hello, Monica.
Good to see you, Monica.
Yeah, good to see you. Welcome. And hello, Sean, as well. XF Live, hello, XF Live also. So hello, everyone. Welcome. All right. And the hand baby became a beautiful young handy man, says Buttersport. Yeah, there was some sighting, apparently some WWE is getting people taking pictures, and they caught somebody's foot at some point, and they caught somebody's hand at some point. So then somebody said, look, Mae Young's hand baby grew, and he's back in WWE. I thought that was hilarious. Whoever caught that picture and put that up, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's absolutely awesome.
I mean, can we say that we're surprised, though? I mean, the hand had no other choice but to be involved in the wrestling business. So.
Oh God, I love it. I see, and that's the good part of wrestling, is that all these years later, we remember that. And for as bad as that was, oh my God, Jeff, could you imagine if that was on social media? Dear sweet Lord in heaven, there would have been riots on social media. All of this, and it led to a stupid hand. Are you kidding me right now? Like, people would have went ballistic. They would have went ballistic if that happened today. But this is the kind of stuff that wrestling is. Whether it's comedic, whether it's serious, whether it's horror, supernatural, whether it's, any of that stuff, that's it. That's what it is. It's entertainment. Are all the stories going to be great? No. Absolutely not. But we have to look at it as entertainment. So. Yep. All right. Well, there you go. Another episode of Airing of Grievances. We hope you guys all enjoyed it. Me and Jeff love it because, again, it's just stuff that we can get off our chest, and we hope you guys enjoy it too. I know a lot of you guys, talking in the chat about your own grievances and stuff now. Monica says, I'm driving right now, but still listening. I hope you're all well. We hope you're well too. Great to see you. Always good to see somebody who comes back. We haven't seen her in a while, so yeah, definitely good to see you too, Monica. James says, WWE has always been a sports entertainment company, so I don't get the hate for it now. Yeah, listen, I've said in this podcast before that Vince McMahon tells people not to say wrestling. I mean, he doesn't want people saying pro wrestling. Why do you think that is? He wants to be, and like Jeff said, why not want to try to be like Marvel? Do you see the kind of money they make? You see what money they made Disney? I mean, they are two of the top, before Avatar took it back over, they were the #1 film of all time. So why not want to follow that? Yeah. All right. I believe we need to. You want to ring the bell? Hey, yo, you want to ring the bell? Love me some Rocky Balboa. All right, we are doing our sell or no sell segment, and you guys can play along in the chat. We always love when you do that. Let us know. Avatar sucked. I agree, Chris. I'm so mad that retook it over. So mad. I cannot. Yeah, that movie was just that. I'll say this. For the 3D that it had and everything like that, it blew people away. Whether the plot was good, it reminded me of a video game. I agree. I wasn't a fan. Swag Fan 100, guys, new to the channel, love the content. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate that. If you're new, please head over and sub to our channel. We would really appreciate that. Obviously, also throw up a like on the stream tonight. That would be fantastic. And if you are so inclined and you want to know when we have content coming out, make sure you hit that notifications button as well. But thank you, Swag Fan, for coming over. Really, really appreciate that. All right. Sell or no sell? 205 Live won't last beyond 2022. Go ahead, Jeff. What are you thinking?
I love it. Might have been the easiest sell I've ever had. And shout out to Conrad. Conrad sent me this, as a potential topic for tonight. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's going to survive past 2021. They've got like 4 people on the roster right now. So what I think is going to happen is I think the rest of the 205 Live wrestlers will be absorbed into NXT. And I think eventually they may rebrand 205 Live and bring it back, bring something else back, especially if they begin to sign some newer wrestlers and things of that nature. But yeah, I mean, this is an easy sell for me because I mean, if you guys people think people complain about Raw rematches, I mean, when you have 4 people on your roster, I mean, there's only so much you can do until you get the announcers involved. So, yeah, I'm selling this one.
SELL, sell, no question.
I love it.
No question. The fact that, Jeff pointed out all the important points. I mean, there's nobody left. And yeah, I could see some people in the chat are saying that, and there were rumors that there was going to be another NXT show coming. So if that does happen, what better way to do it than to have some of this talent that was there, like Jeff said, get absorbed over into NXT, break out into a different show, maybe maybe it could be just an hour. It might just be an hour show that they might do for some of these other people to get some screen time. But yeah, and I think the chat all agrees with us too. Sell time to get rid of the purple brand. I think 205 used to be a fun thing when they would do live shows because they would have 205 Live after the main show and people would stay and they'd get some extra wrestling out of it. I think they're going to just have to go back to dark matches like they used to do before. And after the show goes off the air, you'll have that, those couple maybe dark matches that will be not shown on live TV that the fans will get. And to be honest, at this point, because of nobody there, I think that the fans would probably like that better. Like, I know C Wrestling talked about Bray maybe coming back and doing some dark matches. I mean, who wouldn't want to get to see that, and get an experience seeing Bray Wyatt or The Fiend instead of 205 Live after a show. So, yeah, definitely sell this one. All right, what's next?
All right, man. The best place for the Iconics to go is Impact Wrestling, Joe. Sell or no sell?
Wow, this is a tough one because I was dead set. When they left that they would be going to AEW. I'm going to sell this. I'm going to sell this.
I love it.
I think Impact would be a great place for them. Now, I'm not saying they're going to stay there forever. They may not. They may even get some kind of contract like the Good Brothers have where they can either go and work in AEW or they can work in New Japan or they can work, you know what I mean? Like they can go to other companies and do other things, NWA, whatever the case might be. But I think right now, with the Knockouts division that Impact has, these guys would just make it better. And the other thing, too, is I also feel that with the gimmicks that they are trying to put out there and them wanting to stay together, I think also would benefit from Impact, too, because I think the promos and stuff they could do would be just fantastic there. Impact is big on promos. And yeah, I think that it would be great. James Chadwick says Impact or Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor would be great too. But I really feel that right now, and we'll mark out when we see Slammiversary if these guys show up. But I think that right now, where it's going, and look at, they're kind of starting. I mean, you have Fire and Flav, of course, with those belts, but now you get Rosemary and Havoc. They're kind of starting to make more women's tag teams, and maybe they're doing that because they know they have another arrival coming very soon. So go ahead, Jeff. What do you think?
I love it. I got to sell it. For a lot of the points that you made, Impact's Knockouts division is phenomenal. If you're looking at it from a singles competition standpoint, it's great. It's doggone near flawless. But if you're going to have the Knockouts tag team titles, you need to have some true tag teams, not individuals that you put together, but true tag teams. The Iconics, for as comedic as they have been in the past, they can wrestle.
Yep.
They would bring a lot of energy. They would bring a lot of depth. They'd bring a lot of experience into that division. And the matches that they could have would just be tremendous. I mean, I'm thinking right now, I'd love to see these two going up against Fire and Flavor. I'd love to see them go up against Rosemary and Havoc.
Yep.
So many different matchups that you could have. So yeah, I'm selling this all day long because I think this is the best place for them to be, not only from a wrestling standpoint right now, not just from a character standpoint, but I think they elevate Impact by going there. So definitely got to sell it.
Agreed, and I think the chat agrees. Butterspark, huge sell. Let's see. Azan says sell. Shelby Jones says sell. SwackFan100 says sell. Conrad saying sell. Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809 saying sell. Welcome, by the way. We got some more people in. I think we got Cheese Whiz in. We got, who else did I see appear in there?
Kevin Correa.
Yes, Kevin Correa. Welcome to you, man. Nice to see you here. Very cool. Look at that. Cheese Whiz Jr. and Cheese Whiz 2. We got Cheese Whiz all over the place.
I know, man.
You've got Cheese Whiz everywhere. Impact is always... Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Where's the nachos?
Yeah, right. We need some... Yeah, Whiz or else cheesesteaks.
There you go.
We need some cheesesteaks. All right. So what is our last sell or no sell topic tonight?
All right, man. Hangman Adam Page is a future AEW World Champion, Joe. Sell or no sell?
Yeah, that's a big sell. Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
This guy, look, he's been the center of a lot of attention for a long time, even when he was tagging with Kenny Omega. But I think that story just kind of writes itself. And if you think about where they're going to go and who can come and take that belt off of Omega finally, you don't need to look really any further than this guy. They've got history. They've got a long story that had been brewing up And what better way than to give it to this guy? This man is super popular and super over with fans. And to give him the belt next, I don't know that they could really do any better. I don't, I know a lot of people are saying, well, maybe it's one of these, maybe it's Christian rather, maybe it's somebody like that that's gonna. I don't see it. This guy is a talent, and like I said, he's big time over with those fans of AEW. So yes, I do believe that he is a future world champion, and I don't think it's that far off. I really don't, especially with the reports we're getting about Kenny. I don't really think it's that far off. I think with the, all that kind of stuff, I don't really think that Kenny is going to be able to do this for very much longer, be on that full-time schedule and be in a lot of matches and things like that. So I think even more so, you might be seeing it. C Wrestling says he should have been the first AEW champion, 100%. Yeah, Jericho came in, and I guess the way they looked at that was as well, we get the big name to have that title for a while. And look, yeah, it may not have been a bad idea. Jericho brings a lot of eyes to the product. But this guy is something else. And I would really be interested to see him as the champion. So what do you think, Jeff?
You know what? I didn't intend for us to sell all of these tonight, but
yeah,
I love it. It works out that way sometimes. Man, dude is so talented, so over. Should have been the champion, like C Wrestling said. I mean, he should have been the champion. I don't. What's odd about this is, and maybe this is another question for another day. I don't know who gets it first, him or Andrade. I know who I'd like to get it first, and that would be Hangman. Because I mean he deserves it there. Yeah. He's a star. So give the man the championship. I mean, I get, and C's kind of saying this too. AEW could have made a huge splash by making him, and they still did. I mean, it's not like this hurt them, but I mean, they could have made a huge splash by having a guy that was relatively unknown by the masses as their world champion. I get going with Jericho, but at the same time, you really want to come onto the scene and make a statement, put somebody out there that hasn't been out there before to the masses. And man, but his time is coming, and when he gets the belt, all bets are off. The man is going to go straight up to the moon, and people are going to be able to see exactly why he should have been champion from the start. So yeah.
I mean, he's already showed that he can go from one story to another without any issue. I mean, he went from the storyline he had with Omega to now, being with the Dark Order and that whole thing, and he went through the whole Matt Hardy thing as well. So he's already shown the talent to be able to go from one thing to another, and whatever he's given, he ends up coming out of it looking better and better. So yeah, I agree. You can't argue with it at all. So yes. I don't watch much AEW, but I think they have stalled on Paige and Kenny once the pandemic started to take longer to have fans back, says XF Live. AEW is going to need fresh blood at the top after the Callis Omega connection slides down the bench. Rusty's talking about Holodead. Impact, please go inside. You know what I'm surprised? And maybe we will see this, maybe after that women's pay-per-view. I'm almost surprised that NWA didn't bring her in. And only because of the fact that, well, not only, but I mean, listen, she's very talented, would fit right in there, especially with what they're doing. And the fact that Thunder Rosa is there too, and you can get that tag team as well, that's kind of a no-brainer. It really is. So I'm really surprised that, that someone didn't, do that already. But yeah, that would be great. I'd love to see her in Impact. Totally agree. All right, we are done with the Sell or No Sell segment, and I think we are on to what to watch for.
Yeah, and this is going to be a different one this week because We're just telling all of you to watch every darn thing.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a fun week because you're going to get, again, more different things from a lot of these shows. So, Raw, you're going to have more matchups going forward into Money in the Bank. You're going to get different matchups with that. You've got that big the 3-man match of the losers from last week's episode, that one of them is going to get it and make it to Money in the Bank. So that brings some interest in. You'll probably have more advancement of the, do we see Alexa and Nikki Cross team up again? And then, of course, on Tuesday, you have NXT and the stuff going on with Joe and everything there. Wednesday night, you've got Dynamite will be back on Wednesdays, which a lot of fans are totally for that. They, people were not happy. It was getting juggled all around between Friday and Saturday. And, so now Dynamite will be back on its regular time. And then, of course, you got next Thursday with Impact, and we already showed you one of the matches that's going to be an Impact next week, which looks amazing. And then Friday, we're right back to SmackDown, and again, heading into Money in the Bank. So much going on. And I didn't even name NWA. I didn't even talk about Ring of Honor. I didn't even mention the other companies that James Chadwick, God bless you, watches every single one. And there's exciting stuff going on anywhere. All that just says, Jeff, to me, is, man, if you can't find something you like, you're just not a wrestling fan.
That, or you have a giant stick up your ass.
Yeah, that too. That too.
I mean, let's keep it 100. I mean, that's honestly what it is. Ring of Honor is building towards pay-per-view in a couple weeks. New Japan has been fire. If you haven't had a chance, go check out New Japan Strong. Josh Alexander debuted on there a couple weeks ago. This is such a great time, just a great time.
Yeah. I just saw that. Big Dan said, breaking news just read on the Closed Fists Facebook page that Donna Eaton, the wife of beautiful Bobby Eaton and the daughter of Bill Dundee, passed away tonight. Good Lord. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. Yeah. It's just... yeah, I mean, life happens. We all know that, but it just seems like, there's always someone. Of course, Sandman's wife just passed away too, not that long ago. Obviously, Dan, bringing that to our attention, and our thoughts and prayers, of course, go out to their family, of course, and them as well. So, man, never easy to hear any of that stuff when that happens. So.
Not at all, man. So, yeah, I mean, if there's not a gentle way to transition back to this, but
yeah,
I mean, there's so much wrestling right now, and this, honestly, and James can tell you this. This is just some of the wrestling that's out there. This is not an all-inclusive list. So there's something out there for everyone. Again, support wrestlers. Support wrestlers. So
if you guys are on the Twitter machine too, and I know some of you are, and thank you for those of you that got us over $3,000. We're over 3,000 followers on Twitter, which is amazing. Thank you for that. But if you're on there, check, if you haven't already, follow James Chadwick. He does a list that he works really hard on every single week. And he compiles a list of his favorite wrestlers from the prior week's wrestling shows. Go check it out. He does work hard on it, and it's really cool. He'll highlight a lot of people that he thinks deserve it from the week's shows that he watched. So check that out if you haven't done so already. Wally says, the only problem is for me that I don't get some of the wrestling shows that I would love to watch. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, sometimes they just aren't on TV. I mean, I know for me, like Ring of Honor is on super late on the East Coast. It's on literally 2:00 in the morning. I think I think it's Saturdays even. Might be tonight, but it's on really, really, really strange times. So yeah, I get it. You can't always see everything. It's hard, but all right. So Rusty says, enjoy your lives every day. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. I mean, I've heard Bully Ray talk about people that he lost. And he says that all the time. He's like, listen, he said that the big thing that gets him is that you never know when the last time you're going to talk to someone is. So that's why, like Rusty said, enjoy your life. Treat people kindly, because you just don't know. You just don't know. So, all right. So yeah, that's what to watch for, and we're moving on. And I think we're going to our new segment, which is Book a Wrestler. Yes, we are going to talk about a wrestler who we would, if we were creative, how we would book this particular wrestler. And this week, we're going to talk about the NWA Women's Champion, well-deserved. We are going to talk about Camille and how we would book Camille. Rusty keeps calling for Eugene. One week we're going to have to surprise Rusty with Eugene. We're just going to have to do it. But yes, so Camille, we're going to talk about this. I'll let Jeff go ahead. You start, man. Tell me how you would book Camille.
So I'm gonna start a little bit different here. I would let's say that we have the ability to take Camille and put her in any company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would have Camille show up at Slammiversary.
Ooh.
And I would have her challenge Deonna Purrazzo.
I kind of had the feeling that that's where you were going, but yep, great call.
But to no avail. Why? Because she's interrupted by one Jordan Grace.
Oh my goodness. Oh jeez.
And I would have a feud with Jordan Grace and Camille that will culminate at Bound for Glory. Camille, as much as this hurts my heart, would kind of get the best of that feud. And then she'd try to go back and, get another chance at Deonna, only to be stopped by someone else that I think is going to actually show up at Slammiversary, and that's the hot mess herself,
Chelsea Green.
Whether she comes back as Laurel Van Ness or whether she comes in as whatever, doesn't matter. I'd have those two feud from there. And then, after all is said and done, I would have her finally go up against Deonna. And she would be my person to take the belt from Deonna. Like I so wanna see whatever challenger they have come up against Deonna be worthy and deserving of that spot. And I think those other matchups, because I've heard some people say, well, she needs to improve in the ring. Well, those two competitors are the type of competitors and in-ring workers that could possibly mask some of the things that people say they don't like about Camille's in-ring work.
I saw it.
Oh man, there's a lot that I'm going to say about that, but Rusty, I'll text it to you. So, but I think those two can mask some of those things, and then Deonna, for people who have not, if you haven't seen a lot of Deonna, if your only exposure to Deonna Purrazzo was seeing her briefly in NXT, I implore you, watch Impact Wrestling. Watch Impact. Deonna Purrazzo, in my opinion, is one of the best, if not the best female wrestler on the planet at this moment. And I know that's saying a lot, but you look at her in-ring work, you look at what she's done for Impact, it's hard to argue against that. I mean, she is phenomenal. But I would love to see Deonna and Camille square up, and I would have her take the belt from there. And then, there's so many different matchups that you can do from there. Rosemary, Havoc, Sue Young. I mean, there's just so many different matchups that you can do with Camille. But the cool thing about Camille is you can just book her as this unstoppable force. I mean, but again, if you haven't watched Deonna in Impact, I implore you, go watch Deonna. Go watch the Iron Man match between her and Jordan Grace. I'm sure it's on YouTube at this point. Go watch that as a point of reference. But yeah, that's what I would do with Camille. So, Joe, what about you, man?
To this day, still, Camille gave one of the coolest extended promos I have ever seen from a women's wrestler. Did that thing come from the heart? You didn't know whether you were watching a promo or you were watching a documentary about her when she did that way back when, before NWA was sadly taken off the air by COVID. Man, I'll tell you, she is impressive. And like Jeff said, booking her, and I see people talking about things in the chat. And I'm not going to go against anything you just said, obviously, because I would love to see her in Impact. If I'm fantasy booking, and I can just kind of take anybody and put them anywhere, I move her to Raw, because man, could she elevate the women's division on Monday Night Raw. And then, people in the chat are calling out and saying, could you imagine a match with her and the Queen? Can you imagine a match with her and Charlotte Flair? Good Lord. Becky Lynch comes back and have her in a feud with Becky Lynch. A match with Asuka. Oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless where she could go with all of that. Big Dan saying Camille with her new bodyguard, BB Adam, Braun Strowman. BB stands for Big and Bad. Invade All In on September, wrecking Britt Baker and taking the title off her as she eventually loses to Mickie James. Wow. That's pretty impressive. Listen, I want to see her wherever, this all women's pay-per-view that Mickie James is going to have. I want to see her front and center there. And there's no reason that she shouldn't be. And hey, listen, if Mickey's going to wrestle, man, oh man, why not put over the champ? Why not put Camille over and have Mickie wrestle Camille? Which would be, I would absolutely love to see that match as well. Like Jeff said, people, if people nitpick on Camille, and like Jeff said, it maybe the promo skills, I don't see it. I think it's there. And I think that wherever she would be or wherever she would go, and look, I don't think she's going to be in NWA for very long. I really don't. She'll hold that belt for a while, but I think she's going to start spotlighting herself in other places. Whether it is going to be that she's going to kind of go to AEW a little bit, or whether she does go to Impact. And if she did show up at Slammiversary, she'd get a huge pop there from the fans, for sure. So she is an amazing talent, and I think that the sky is the limit for her. She's at the pinnacle right now of NWA. Unfortunately, she's not getting the people seeing her because NWA obviously just doesn't get the views. But I don't think it's going to be long before she ends up somewhere, whether it's going to be in Impact Wrestling, whether it's going to be in AEW, or whether it's going to be maybe in NXT. But she's going to be, oh my God. Jeff, can you imagine her and Taya?
Oh,
Her and Taya in NXT? Sign me up for that as well. Oh my gosh, yeah. But I have no doubt that wherever she goes, it's going to be awesome. And like I said, I think the sky's the limit for Camille. James said, just tweeted us on our Twitter about the Deonna Grace Iron Woman match. If you want to retweet it. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I will. I will do that. And Jeff, I think we're heading on to our next segment.
That's right, man. We are heading on to a very nice segment that we enjoy. So
Yes. Favorite moments of the week.
here we go.
Woo! Our top 3 moments of the week, guys. You can, in the chat, go ahead and call yours out as well when we start ours. So go ahead, Jeff. What is your number 3 moment of this past week?
Man, that is a good question. My number 3 moment of the week. I've got to give it to that opening segment with Woods, Kofi, and Bobby, because I feel like that set the tone for the night. And I love all 3 of those guys. Then you add MVP into the mix. Man, it was a heck of a promo, heck of a segment there on Raw, and that's my number 3. I really enjoyed what they did with that.
If you would have told me that I would tell you in my top 3 favorite moments of the week, and I would name Roman Reigns as one of my, you would have said to me, Joe, what the hell is going on with you? Man, I can't look. When you start a show with him and you're going with this storyline that he's going with, and like I said, these mind games that this man is playing with members of his family, for God's sake, and he's just, you could just see the manipulation going on. I love that look that he gives too, with that little quivering lip. When he looks at something and he just stares down, and all of a sudden that lip is just quivering like he's biting his teeth, and he just wants to just wail on them, but he just holds it back. Look, I look forward now to every opening of SmackDown, because I know we're going to get more of this story. And last night we got the ending of SmackDown as well with it, and I just am really, really curious to see where this is going. Look, they've got me hooked. And again, I was never a huge Roman fan. I've told you guys that before, but they have got me hooked. And Roman is doing a fantastic job at this. And like Jeff said early in the show, should have been doing this many, many, many years ago. Why they didn't, I have no idea. But he was born for this role. It fits him. It's personal to him. And it doesn't even look like he's acting. It doesn't look like any of this is an act. It looks like this is all, him just being him. So that's my number 3 moment of the week. Let me read off some people's here. Edge's return, number 1 says Legendary Buchanan. Number 2, a good Raw. Alexa Bliss Gamer says Alexa Bliss promo from Hell in a Cell. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler. Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler, especially the Spider Walk. That is definitely not going to be in my top 3. That is definitely not going to be in my top 3. Although, look, she's not walking backwards, so I'm not totally creeped out or anything by it yet. But I'll tell you, that you've seen that move before if you watched horror, because that is a witch kind of the ring kind of move that she does there. So yeah, man, God bless, man. That woman can move. Let me just tell you. The reaction from Roman and Heyman when Edge returns, as Legendary Buchanan. Big Dan says Edge coming back. Virgil charging Brooke Hogan $30 for a picture. Oh, dear Lord, that was funny, wasn't it? Alexa and Nikki teaming up and channeling the old WCW Lethal Lottery. Roman is the best thing in wrestling, not even a debate. James Shattuck said 3 for me is Awakening versus Headbangers in a TLC match on ARW. 2 is Ilja versus Coffee versus Rampage Brown. And number 1, Edge returns. Super Nikki debuts is a tie for number 1. Okay. Conrad says Edge's return, number 1. Number 2, Better Raw. Number 3, Impact Slammiversary build. Rusty says my number 3 is the announcement of Moose, Callahan, and Sabin. All right, Jeff, what's your number 2?
Number 2, man, this was a tough one, but I gotta give it up for Edge's return.
Yeah.
And really just SmackDown was really good last night. So, God, it was really good. And then my tie with that, and Andrew Stevens just read my mind there. Bianca Belair and Bailey in Hell in a Cell on Sunday was one of the most creative, well done Hell in a Cell matches I've ever seen. I didn't say women's match. I said Hell in a Cell match I've ever seen. It was fire. Like the stuff that they did, the spots that they did, the creativity, the callbacks to different parts of the story that they had building up to that match. I mean, it was tremendous. It was tremendous. And then the KOD on the ladder, that, yeah, it was great.
They stole that show.
They did.
That match, without a doubt, was the best match of that show.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, was the best match of that show. So, and look, we all dog on WWE's planning, but that had been moved to Hell in a Cell. It was not supposed to be there. They changed it and they pushed it there, and you know what? It was the best match of the show. So no doubt. No doubt. Andrew Stevens says Impact Slammiversary build. Bianca Belair versus Bailey, as Jeff just said, in Edge's return. Eric says Roman and Edge, a better Raw. Moose promo and Sami Callihan. Eric Travis says Bianca versus Bailey. Swap fan says Edge is so good. Legend knows how to make you believe and feel. Let's see. My number 2. You know what? Let's stick with the theme. And if I'm going with Roman, you know what? I'm going to go with the drip of one Seth Rollins as well. Good Lord, man. You know what? This is another thing that people probably 3 months ago had thought people were bonkers. When he returned and came back from, of course, being away because of the birth of his child, and when he came back, everybody's like, what the hell is this? He's coming out wearing this ridiculous outfits and wearing no socks. And, what is he even supposed to be now? Like, he comes out to his old theme, but he's not coming, he's not this dastardly eye-poking guy. But, dude, this is some of Seth's work. This is some of my favorite work that Seth has ever done. The dude is hanging out on Bailey's show. Last night he comes out and he's giving, he's coming up to Bianca saying, "Oh, Bianca, you and I won," and blah, 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 blah. And then the next thing you know, he turns on her and saying, "Yeah, but, we all know that, you kind of just snuck away with it," and blah, 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 blah. Look, Seth Rollins is actually killing it right now, man. And he's not only getting, Legendary Buchanan says his suits are amazing. He's not only getting the laughs, but then he turns around, and when he gave that beating to Cesaro, so that snap is still there. The person who gouged out Rey Mysterio's eyes is still there. So not only are you getting this one, but at any 1 minute he can snap on a dime. Man, oh man, whoever, whatever creative came up with this, again, kudos to SmackDown's creative, working with Seth with this, however they're doing it. He is on fire right now, and I can't wait for SmackDown this coming week to see him march out that ramp and be like, "Edge, how dare you? How dare you come in here out of nowhere and take my spot for that?" Because it's coming. It's coming, and I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. Eric says a storyline with Edge versus Roman, Ed versus Seth, Seth versus Roman, and Jimmy versus Jay, maybe, and Jay not coming back. Interesting storyline. Seth suits are amazing. Yes, they are. Joe's number 1 is non-wrestling related. The Halloween Kills trailer where Silver Shamrock finally gets respect for Mr. Myers. I love that trailer. I've watched it countless times. Trying to dissect it. Michael Myers killed somebody with a fluorescent freaking light bulb.
Yes.
And I absolutely love that. That already is like up near the top of my slasher kills right there. Seeing somebody break a light bulb and just stab them in the throat with a light bulb, I'm like, oh my God, I'm all in. So, yes. All right, Jeff, what's your number 1?
Number 1, and I'm going to sound like a homer, but I don't care. Folks, we have a lot of seats available on the Impact train.
Yeah.
You're welcome to come aboard anytime. Um, what they're doing right now is brilliant. The build to Slammiversary, like this, Slammiversary is going to be must see.
Yep.
It is a must see. If if you're not into the whole Kenny Omega thing, which I understand some people aren't, there's a little bit of a little obscure match that they booked for this called Ultimate X.
Oh, yeah.
That's unlike anything. Like if you haven't followed TNA or Impact over the years, you've probably never seen anything like this. Um, there are so many good matches, so many good storylines going into this. Oh, and by the way, if none of that interests you at all, it's fine. We don't know who the hell's going to show up at Slammiversary with some of these releases. So, my number one, Impact for absolutely knocking it out of the park. Always keeping us guessing, doing different things, unique things, and having something for everyone. I mean, if you don't see them in an active storyline on the show per se or in the ring, you might want to check out Swingers Palace, which I need some Swingers Palace merch. That's what
Oh my God.
I need the Palace shirt. So,
Dude,
yeah.
they could do so much with that. Like, give me a deck of cards that say Swingers Palace on it. I'll buy those.
Yeah.
I agree, man. I agree. Mine is, and I have to go with a flat out tie because, again, I always love things that shock me. And two things that shocked me, Jeff already talked about both of them. The first one, of course, was Impact Wrestling. I did not see that coming at all. I didn't know. I know, when Tommy showed up, I'm like, uh-oh, something's going to happen. So what's going on? Of course, Don Callis is kind of prodding him to, we'll get some people together and, let that. Yeah. So then when they mentioned that, and then when you saw him go to Sammy, you're like, oh, okay. And then Sammy's in, and then Moose comes walking past, and Moose just goes up and goes, I'm in, and just walks away. And then Chris Sabin added to it. Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. So that one was surprising. And then, of course, last night, and I talked about this earlier in the show. I didn't see it coming. I knew the rumors were there about Edge, but I did not know it was going to happen now. I'm thinking maybe closer to SummerSlam, if that's where they were going, or maybe even a little bit later down the road. But when you had Roman in that ring saying, and Paul Heyman's like, all right, Roman, tell them about this new, whatever they were going to come up with. I almost kind of want to know what this new thing he was going to say was. But whatever they were going to come up with, I don't know. But then all of a sudden you hear Edge's music, you think you know me, and boom. And the announce table's going crazy. Lay's back, and Michael Cole. So, and then Edge comes down and just flattens Roman. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And Edge is back, and now we go forward with this. And like I said, it's not just Edge and Roman, but now you're going to have a pissed off Seth Rollins that's going to get involved in this at some point too. So, like I said, amazing stuff in wrestling, man. Amazing stuff in wrestling this week. And it's so cool. Like last week when, we didn't get to do our show, but, the last time we were talking about this stuff, we were talking big about NXT. So it seems like it's switching. You're getting something great from NXT one week. Then you're getting something great from Impact one week. Then you're getting something great from Raw or SmackDown one week. Again, man, like I said before, if you can't find something awesome that makes you smile about wrestling, you're not a wrestling fan. You're just not. You're just not.
Dude, do you see this this super chat? Thank you, by the way, Jesse.
Carrying Cross just saw my art on Instagram. He replied to it and followed me, and Scarlett liked it. Wow. Check that out. We retweeted it earlier. Jesse's art as well, with the picture of Karrion Kross and Scarlett. So yeah, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's awesome.
I mean, Jesse, good grief, that was so amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
like I want it.
Yeah.
It is.
Jesse, if you don't already know, does artwork and things like that. And of course, you can go check out her Twitter page. She's done Fiend art in the past. She actually did artwork where we were actually in the artwork. So yeah, Jesse's got talent. It takes someone with a good amount of talent to have artistic talent. I can't draw a damn stick figure and make it look good. So hats off to anybody who could do anything like that. And yeah, the Karrion Kross and Scarlett thing. You know what it was? I saw that earlier today at work, and when I retweeted it, I kind of had a funny feeling that you were going to get some notice from Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross he's on Twitter a lot. So I kind of had a feeling you might get something from that, but that's awesome that he followed you, and that Scarlett retweeted it too. That's fantastic. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I was going to ask where you were, Jesse, because we're going to tune up the band because we're ready for that part of the show. So here we go. The lighter side of wrestling. It is time for Jesse's going to warm up with her jokes here. C is getting ready up in his little balcony with Statler and Waldorf. And we are getting ready for the lighter side of the ring. So while Jesse gets ready, Jeff, I think we have a topic this week that is near and dear to a lot of people in TNA and Impact fans' hearts.
Where's J-Hub when you need him?
Or maybe Finn's.
Yeah, where's J-Hub when you need him?
Right? Right? We're talking about Shark Boy, Stone Cold Fish, Shark Boy. Oh, man, dude, what a character this guy is. I mean, the team-ups that he had with Curry, man. I didn't realize when I read up on him, when you put this up, that he had been around for as long as he's been. Yeah. I mean, between the independents and the other companies that he was in, I didn't realize he's been around for that long. And now they said, he's been in some indies and stuff like that, but he's really not wrestling all that much anymore. But oh my goodness, you want to talk about bringing laughter to people and that's what this segment is all about. You need that stuff. We're gonna have to bring Swingers Palace into this one week at some point too, Jeff.
Yeah.
But you need this to kind of offset things. And I just mentioned about Seth and stuff like that and things he's doing, getting people to kind of giggle and smile. This guy had the talent to do that. And every time he'd come out in a match, and that match that I had never seen, and now I see that promo almost weekly with that fish market match with him and Curry, man. Oh dear Lord. When he hooks Billy Ray in the mouth with a fishing line and he's reeling Bully Ray in like this big humongous fish. Oh my God. I can imagine. Well, you know what? We're really, I mean, we owe these guys a pay-per-view like an old one. We literally should sit and watch that because I'd probably giggle and laugh the entire time.
We need to do that pay-per-view.
We should. Yeah,
so do that match so you can see the whole thing in its.
Yeah, I'd be hysterical the entire time. I know I would. So yeah, we're gonna have to do that. So there you go. We'll book that at some point and we'll get that done because we owe you one. We actually never did that one for the subscribers that we got a while ago, so we owe you guys. But yeah, oh my God, this guy had the gift. I love people that can make people laugh. It's a lost art today, especially in our world. If somebody can come in and make you laugh, that person is usually a pretty good person. He's got a gift. He or she has gotten a gift to do that, and this guy is definitely right up there, Jeff.
Yeah, man. I mean, all I can say is, oh, shell, yeah. If J-Hub were here, he'd be asking everybody in the chat, give him a shell, yeah.
Yep.
Shark Boy was amazing. Yes, James talking about him biting people on the rear. Yeah, that's very true. Dude was just, I mean, I love Shark Boy. And that's the cool thing about wrestling is that you get you get all of the serious gimmicks and all of that stuff, but you gotta have folks like this that balance it out, that make it fun and comedic. And Shark Boy, I mean, Curry Man, it was a toss up this week. I almost selected Curry Man, but I was like, you know what? Let's go with Shark Boy. Let's do this. But yeah, we got to go back and watch that pay-per-view and do a watch along for it, so we can enjoy
Yeah.
that particular one. So
Yeah, one of these nights when we're not both busy and something, we'll have to do that. We'll have to do that for sure, because like I said, we owe people anyway with that, so that'll be fun, being able to go back and do that. And for me, it'll be the first time I'll have seen it. So anytime is the first time I've actually seen the match. Now I watch bits and pieces, and I've seen some of the promo, but I didn't go on YouTube and watch it or anything like that. Now I'm not going to on purpose, so I can actually get the whole thing. But oh my gosh, I can't wait. Gus, yeah, we did do airing grievances. We did that a while ago. What did we talk about? Different topics. I had a lesson in journalism for people. That's the best way I could describe it. And Jeff had some things to say to people about whether or not to, not to get involved with companies so much, but get more involved with wrestlers, among other things. So go back and check it out if you hadn't had the time to see it. All right, because I didn't get much time to gather them, I got about 3 or 4 hit or miss, extra cheesy, like nachos, jokes. Haha, says Jesse. Conrad says, I loved how he became Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I must demand Curry Man, says Everything Pro Wrestling. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Yeah, we'll have to do that. We'll have to do that. All right. So some people also, Big Dan, did you hear about the guy who ate $2,000 worth of Taco Bell? Afterwards, he was really gassed. Gus says, oh man, my favorite part. Go check it out. It was good. We did good stuff. Good stuff. So yes, it is Calynn Corner time. So Jesse's coming up with some jokes. In the meantime, we'll remind you, like I said, hopefully, if everything goes well, we should have Abby's window back on Monday. That will be at 6 o'clock p.m. I know some of you guys are really looking forward to that. You've missed it. I know Jessie has been out because of some medical things that she has been dealing with. So hopefully she is on the mend and she will be able to come back and talk to you guys on Monday night about Bray Wyatt. And then, of course, after that, we will have our Impact Watch Along. You guys saw that big match with Omega and the Good Brothers against Sammy and Sabin and Moose. That is part of the show this coming Thursday, so don't miss Impact Wrestling. If you haven't watched it yet, come out and give it a try. Watch along with us. See what you think. I'm pretty sure you will enjoy it. And then, of course, stay with us after the Impact. That's the name of the show. We come back. We talk about everything that happened on the show, including getting your scores and things like that. And then, of course, we'll be right back here next Saturday night, this same time, with our weekly wrap-up show. So I'm sure we'll have another big, full week of wrestling news, as we always seem to have. So Conrad's watching the basketball game. Clippers and Suns is close. Yes. The Hawks got destroyed yesterday. C says, yay, Calynn Corner. I love Calynn Corner. I'm detecting just a bit of sarcasm, perhaps there. Just a bit. Just a bit. I don't know how I'm still awake with the vodkas I've had.
Wait. So, James, you mixed vodka drinks in with your already crazy cocktail of wrestling.
Dude. I don't even know how the hell you're awake.
I know.
I know how you're awake. Oh, my God. See, you'll hate these jokes. I think even I hate them. Rusty says, Steve starts off with the first joke. Yes. Cue Jesse, the joke teller's theme music, and C spraying his throat, ready to heckle away.
You know what?
C,
next week, tune in, because Calynn Corner will have theme music.
Oh.
And it might even have a couple of our community members, one in particular, one famous heckler that's in the crowd right now, and we'll see. But stay tuned. Stay tuned.
There you go. There you go. Now you have to come out. If you didn't already, C says, hate them, Jesse. Is that even possible? James Chadwick says, yeah, man. And I had beers too. Oh, good Lord, dude. Basically, you're doing Boilermakers? Oh, my God, James. Oh, jeez. I don't know how you're even awake. I really don't. I was like, damn, you guys are streaming Saturday, and I realized it's Saturday.
See the comment that I just sent back to Chris. That's
damn, Chris, you're higher than a giraffe's ass. Yes, he is. That's a good one. Yep. Oh my God. What a crazy way to end the night.
Yeah.
Oh my! Don't forget, guys, too. While she's getting the jokes ready to go here, it's getting closer to the time where we're going to be doing Raw and SmackDown.
Yes.
So don't forget that as well. We'll get people in for those. I'm sure Jody will want to take part. I'm sure that Tazzy might be around whenever he can. So that'll be a combined effort. But we will be doing watch-alongs for Raw and SmackDown. So that it will be exciting, and we'll get to do that right when the fans are back too. So that'll be amazing to watch along those. And so don't forget, if you want to come out for a watch along and you don't already do that for Raw or SmackDown, please feel free to come and join us. And if you already do, cool, you can do that too. Just throw us up on another screen. Either way you want to do it. James Chadwick, you the real MVP. Yeah, he is. He is. Swag Fan says, good night, everyone. Appreciate the welcome. Hey, no problem, man. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. And I hope we see you again. Like I said, we've got a lot of content that we do. And, come out and join us. So, all right.
If you're an Impact fan,
yeah,
check us out on Thursdays.
Yeah. Yeah, there aren't that many Impact Wrestling watch-alongs out there. So, yeah, come out and join us if you don't. And if you haven't watched it, like I said, give it a shot. Come out. Okay, I got a couple better ones, so here's 4. Where's the jokes already? I can't wait for them, says C. Jed says, hello, Jesse. How are you doing? James says, I'm sleeping all day. Here we go. Number 1. If you're waiting for the waiter at a restaurant, aren't you indeed the waiter? Oh God, I can see his comment is on its way. You just know. You just know it's coming. You just know it's coming. I'm almost afraid to read it. Oh, look at what? That's absolutely hilarious. Well done.
Wow.
What? Are we in the Twilight Zone? What the hell's going on?
Wait, I got to do it again.
What? Like, seriously, I think we crossed over into the Twilight Zone. What's happening? What's going on here? Oh, my God. Big Dad says, Jesse Ventura's voice. See, the cat caller is getting impatient. McMahon. Yeah. Oh, my God. I love Jesse the Body. Loved him. Alex says, is C drunk? C wrestling is drunk. Here's number 2. Why do we tell actors to break a leg? Because every play has a cast.
You know what? This is premature, but that was good. I like that. That's a good one.
Do I sense sarcasm? Well, you won't be waiting for cheese, that's for sure, says Rusty. Jesse saying, see, what is this trickery? I know. It's like, well, what's going on? There was an episode of The Muppet Show, I think, once where Statler and Waldorf were nice. Yeah. I think I remember that actually happened. So maybe that's what this is.
This
look at this. I really like that one, Jesse. Wow. Oh, my God. The world's going to end.
You know what? You know what happened? C Wrestling and Chris actually hung out.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. They're both in the treehouse.
Yep.
that makes sense. All right, number 3. Are you from Tennessee? because you're the only 10 I see. Oh my God. That's a pickup line. That's not even a joke. That's a pickup line. That's really funny. That's really funny.
Oh God, Big Day.
What's Hannibal Lecter's favorite sandwich? A him on rye. Oh. See Wrestling saying Jesse's bringing absolute bangers of the Joker.
Oh, wow, he gave him 5 stars.
5 stars. Oh my God.
I have a feeling.
The big finale from him. Yeah.
He'll turn income.
Yeah. You're probably right. Yep. You're probably right. Jesse says, I got my eye on you, see. It might be a joke, says Jesse. All right, we got one more incoming, and then we'll see if we get a heel turn. There's a fine line between numerator and a denominator. Only a fraction of people will get this joke. Oh, clever. James Chadwick saying C turned into Meltzer. Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Rusty says, C, are you practicing sorcery now? C is rating these like Meltzer on AEW. And here's the last one. Confucius say, man who runs behind car will get exhausted, but man who runs in front of car will get tired. Really good, Jesse. Pats on back, but he's got a little thing with the mouth closed on the. Oh, he's trying to hold it back. Oh my gosh!
With fans saying Hollywood see wrestling, it's gonna be just like that too. At the beach, he came down. We thought he was. Yep.
We're gonna be throwing stuff into the ring. Maybe he's nervous now that Jesse's friends with Karrion Kross.
You know,
she's got friends in high places. You better be careful. Oh, right. That's my charity work done for the year. There's a place in heaven for me yet. Yeah, you knew it.
Hey,
you knew it. You knew it was coming. What a way to end the show. Oh, my goodness. Gotta love it. See, and look at. We don't even have to have a funny person because, I mean, you guys right in the chat between Jesse and C and everybody else, I mean, you're the funny people of the show. So there you go. We don't even have to look for anybody. You are the lighter side of our wrestling show. So there you go. Conrad says heel turn. Rusty says Confucius also says woman who puts her man in the doghouse will soon find him in the cat house. Very good. Clever. I like it. I like it. Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up for this Saturday night. Thank you to Jessie for giving us a laugh to end our show like she always did. C says, which is good because you ain't got a funny person. Jessie jokes suck. Oh, here we go. Here we go with the heel turn. More than how Divas got over in the Attitude Era. Oh, my God. He did. He went full heel.
He went Hollywood see wrestling.
He did. Now the whole chat's gonna throw stuff.
I imagine one of these days his avatar there is going to change. And he's gonna have the black beard.
Oh, how cool would that be? Have the black shoe polish beard on, and all right. There you go.
That's what I'm seeing from C Wrestling. I mean, he just pulled the Hogan.
Yes, he did.
That's what
happened. He did. Wasn't there a special announcement concerning a future guest tonight? Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't forget. My goodness. We talked about it on Impact. Yeah. We are going to be lucky enough to have back with us X Division champion Josh Alexander and his wife Jade both have agreed to come back on our show. They're going to be coming back before Slammiversary, so we're going to see how we can do. Obviously, we're going to work around whatever schedule Josh has because he's going to be out and very busy and doing tapings. We're just glad he's stopping by. So we'll see how we'll be able to do it, whether we may be able to do it live or if we have to record it. Either way, but we'll let you guys know ahead of time, and you guys can send us questions and stuff that you may want us to answer if, of course, we can't do it live. If we can, then obviously be ready for some questions. We're going to definitely ask him about that Iron Man match for sure. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me, Big Dan. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Conrad says, fun show. Thank you very much, all of you, for coming out and spending part of your Saturday with us. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you to those who are new to the channel and came in. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button before you leave tonight. Please throw up a like on the video as well before you head out tonight, and also hit that notifications button if you want to make sure that you're getting in on all of the content that we are doing. So, guys, have a great rest of your Saturday night. Have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe, and hopefully we will see you all again on our next show. Good night, everybody.